Hi, this is David, the Reckless Rabbi. Love you all so much. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the state of the internet today. When I'm looking on YouTube and I'm looking at religious videos, basically the majority of things I'm seeing are things that pertain to the enemy and to his strategy and to attacks. Now, I understand there is a pervasive view that if you want to confront an enemy, you have to know their tactics. But the reality is that if all of YouTube is buzzing about Moloch, Baal, and all these other nonsense pagan gods who are just fallen angels, we have a basic understanding of the enemy, that he was an angel, he fell, and he took fallen angels with him, and that's pretty much all we need to know. We know in our hearts that the enemy is doing the opposite of what God wants, so we'll do the opposite of what the enemy wants. The enemy wants to sever our relationship with God. So how do you defeat this enemy in a spiritual war? Make yourself closer to God. Follow all the commandments and do everything Jesus said. And even though Jesus said that every commandment comes from the two, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with thy heart and all thy mind and all thy soul, and that you should love your neighbor as yourself. I don't think there's any penalty for following the other commandments. They're good advice. They're definitely great guidelines. As I said before in the previous video, every time you sin, which is breaking a commandment, you're walking away from God and you're having a mini version of hell in your own life. So I'm very, very much in favor of everyone keeping all 613 commandments, because it says in the New Testament, if you're guilty of breaking one, you break them all. Now, do I myself follow all 613 commandments? I do to the best of my ability in this modern life. Am I perfect? No, I'm a sinner as well. And I said before in the previous video, how do you know you're not Jesus? Because you've sinned. We've all fallen short of the glory of God. So if you really want to combat these dark forces, you don't really have to learn their strategy. I don't care that that they drink actual blood and they eat actual flesh because they're doing a perversion of the sacrament. Just do the sacrament. You don't have to know that what every little bit of detail of what they're doing. They're just doing the opposite of what you're doing. Okay, and just really, if you are in sin right now, and if your heart is crying out to God, to free you from that sin, He will show you a path. I have friends who are quitting smoking, quitting alcohol. God will give you a path, and I want to make something clear that pure abstinence at in a moment is not the path for everyone. Okay, if it takes time for you to get over your addiction, as long as you're making progress, you're moving towards God, you're moving towards the light. As long as you're moving towards the light, you're doing well. Okay, I myself was drinking too much. I myself was smoking marijuana for my pain in my left knee, and I've rejected all those things. I love the pain. Now I embrace the pain because spiritually I'm closer than God. Because God felt physical pain for us. Did Jesus take opioids or painkillers or smoke marijuana before He went on the cross? Absolutely not. So I lean into my pain. I lean into my suffering because I know it brings me closer to God, and I hope that you can lean into your pain and your suffering. And the purpose of that pain and suffering is to bring you closer to God. You see, artists believe that, and I read this in Nietzsche when I was very lost, because Nietzsche is not a good person to read. Artists believe that the purpose of art is to make suffering beautiful. The purpose of pain is to bring us closer to God, to feel pain as He felt pain. In Dante's Paradiso, the highest level of heaven, the saints have their spirit at one with God. And my goal in life is to have my spirit be at one with God. So God bless, God bless, God bless. Don't fall into this mishigas of looking at all these videos of Moloch and Baal and Illuminati and Freemasons and Diddy. Be a light, not a shadow. God bless, God bless, God bless. I love you so much.